Hi, I'm David Bradley and I'm going to be answering questions set by students from schools in Stratford-upon-Avon. So big hello to you all and to all the teachers. We're thinking of you and looking forward to when you can come and see us again at the theatre when it's safe to do so. Right, well, the first question I was asked was, how did I get into the theatre? Well, I grew up in the beautiful city of York, but having failed my 11 plus and attending a secondary modern school which was, let's say, a drama-free zone, I don't remember ever seeing a play. I certainly never heard of Shakespeare or seen any of his works or read them. However, at 15, I and a group of friends joined a youth club in a rather run-down area of the city where there was nothing to do apart from there was a table tennis table, a dartboard and some records that we played. But in the basement there was a mysterious small group of people who did something called drama. Now, I never went down there, we never saw them. They must have come in through a separate door or something, and it was run by a man called Mr. Pickering. And one day, when I was just not doing very much in the club, the youth leader gave me a cup of tea and said, "Take this down to Mr. Pickering in drama." So I went down the stairs with not a little trepidation, because I'd heard that this man was a kind of slightly Dickensian eccentric figure. And I knocked on the door and said, "Come in." Come in, it was Mr. Pickering. And I said, "A cup of tea for Mr. Pickering." And he took it with one hand and thrust what turned out to be a script into my hand with the other, and said, "Read this, boy." And so I read the words on this open page that he handed me, and the words were, I can remember them exactly: "Oh, pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers." Now, I didn't know what these words meant, but I quite liked saying them, and Mr. Pickering said, "Marvellous, where have you been? Congratulations, the part's yours." I said, "Well," and that was it. I was playing Mark Antony in his production of Julius Caesar, whether I liked it or not. And so I turned up for the next week's rehearsal, and they gave me an old sheet that I wrapped around myself like a toga, like the rest of the young boys down there. And halfway through this evening's rehearsal, there was a knock on the basement door, and it was opened by this snotty-nosed little kid of about 11 or 12, and he had a cup of tea for Mr. Pickering. Mr. Pickering took the cup of tea, thrust a script into his hand with the other hand, and said, "Read this, boy." And the kid said, and I kid you not, he was appalling. He said, "Oh, Caesar, do not go to the Senate today. Beware the Ides of March." Mr. Pickering said, "Marvellous, where have you been? Congratulations, the part's yours." And I thought, right, they were so desperate for numbers that this was the arrangement: take a cup of tea down and he's got another member for the drama club. But I knew I'd been conned. I'd been trapped by my own vanity because he said I was marvellous, but it was too late. I was in love with Shakespeare and have been ever since.